Welcome back. It's episode 3 of The Reign of Terror. Tim and Carole are still with me, but we have a change of identity for our third participant, who is...
Caroline.
And Caroline, you played Danielle.
I did play Danielle. It was my very first television. And I was terrified.
Gosh, you were awfully good. You'd never know.
Never know.
Yeah.
And is it strange to be brought back all these years later
Yes.
to talk about your first telly?
It's wonderful. Extraordinary. I mean, just seeing the style change and the way people work on television. It's very theatrical.
And so you'd never been in a television studio before? I mean,
No.
It must be quite nerve-wracking then, or quite isn't perhaps the word.
I came straight out of drama school, and this was my very first job, actually. It was terribly exciting, but I was scared, yeah. And in fact, it was the first television of the guy that played my brother, too.
Roy Herrick.
Roy Herrick,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, who went on to do a fair few Doctor Who's.
Yes.
And there's a myth that abounds about this episode, is that it didn't have a director's credit on, but it does. Henrik Kirsch is credited on the print we have for this episode, but there has been speculation that he didn't direct it, or that he found... certainly it's known that he found the show difficult, but Caroline, do you remember Henrik being about?
Yes, I do indeed remember him being about.
So there we go.
He directed in rehearsals, and he directed in the studio, and then he collapsed in the studio.
Yeah.
And it was all very dramatic. I was running the floor. It was a very traumatic episode. We had a horse and cart, which you'll see later, in the studio. We were very restricted for space. We were still in Lime Grove G, narrow, very, very hot again. And round about sort of 4 o'clock in the afternoon, just coming up for the tea break, Anne, who was the production secretary, said to me, "Tim, we've got a problem. Can you come up?" I stopped the studio for the moment, went upstairs, and Henrik was lying on the floor outside the gallery. He'd collapsed. The stress of it all had been too much for him. And so I went back, put the studio, told them to go to tea. I didn't want to cause any furore with the cast. I didn't tell anybody, but we got on to the doctor straight away, and I phoned up Verity and asked her to come down, and told her what had happened, and she came down straight away. And she said, "Well, I can't run the gallery. I've never run the gallery in my life." It's her very first job as a producer, my very first job as a PA, Henrik's very first job as a director. But we were all learning, and it was Caroline's first job as an actress. It was all like that, and it was Roy Herrick's first job as an actor. So we were all, winging it a bit, shall we say? But I said, "Well, I can't do it. I could probably if you asked me, but I'm running the floor. I've got loads of things on my mind there." And so Verity then wasn't sure what to do. She said, "Well, we've got to find a director. Henrik's obviously not in a fit state to continue." And the rumour is, the story is that she asked John Gorrie to come in and direct. Now, John has been asked and has said I think quite a few times to people, he can't remember ever directing it. And I can't remember who actually directed it, but I do have a little theory, because the associate producer certainly had a lot of experience of directing. Mervyn Pinfield was the associate producer on the production. He was always around in the studio, and I'm just wondering whether, if John didn't do it, whether Mervyn Pinfield was the director.
Well, funnily enough, John Gorrie was a teacher at my drama school and wrote a play which I was in with somebody else. And I wonder if it was because of him that I got into this episode. I don't know.
He directed a couple of Who's early. He directed The Keys of Marinus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And I'd worked
so he
on
was
that.
around. Well, of course, Mervyn was... Because Doctor Who was a show for fledgling talent, if you like, Mervyn Pinfield was on hand to be the older guiding hand.
Yeah, could actually step in, know how to run a gallery. He'd done it before, and that. But I can't honestly remember who took over in the gallery. No, it wasn't Verity, but whether it was John Gorry or Mervyn Pinfield. Well, John can't remember, and Mervyn is no longer on this planet.
I knew Caroline were protected from all of this. You had no idea. So you remember
No,
working with Henrik in rehearsals?
I do remember Henrik being a bit gloomy.
What, Maudlin?
Yeah.
Gloomy Hungarian. Yes. But I'm sure I did have Henrik direct.
Oh, you directed you in the
Because I
rehearsals?
couldn't remember
And
I couldn't think what he was saying to me half the time. I didn't understand him.
Nobody did except you. Tim understood him.
I got used to him. Yes, it was. But it was a very, very tricky time. The poor man was under a lot of stress. I mean, it was
Was
a
he
very
actually
difficult
ill?
studio.
Was he ill?
No, he wasn't ill at all.
Oh, I see.
I think he
Just what
found
we
the
did
whole
to him.
thing was getting on top. He used to complain to me. He finished the studio and he got a terrific headache and things like that. And I'd ask him if he'd like to come and have a drink. He said, "No, I don't feel like anything. Just going to go home and have a bath and go to bed."
It's interesting. I read Ken Lawrence's letter in episode 1, which would have been, by the time that was out, that would have been around the time that all this would have happened.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if word got around, because Caroline, you and Roy Herrick both wrote to Henrik saying, thanks for giving me a job on Doctor Who. I enjoyed working with you. And Roy says, your direction was very helpful for this. I'm very grateful. Good luck with the rest of the episodes. And it seems to me that everybody's sort of rallying round to get in
make him
touch with
feel
Henrik
better.
and make him feel all right.
Of course, that might be actor schmoozer.
You are for another
I
job.
wasn't going to say that. Roy Herrick had been at drama school with me, and that's how he got his job. And
But I remember Henrik trying to meet up with me afterwards and making a bit of a pass. A bit awkward. I do remember that. And
That's surely bad timing if he's already given you the job.
yes,
That's a
very,
ton-
very waste of time, really.
He's done it beforehand.
No, he didn't do it beforehand.
here's the horse. Look at the horse.
Wow.
Very
in
good.
that
He very
narrow
well
studio,
behaved,
and a
wasn't he?
cart, and sets. And there you are in the background, Carole.
So yeah, this is nothing to
Oh,
be
no, it's
sniffed.
not you there. No, it's the extras.
Yeah, Carol's in the cart.
Yeah, it's in the cart.
So nothing to be sniffing at this, Tim, from your point of view, a horse, a cart, and shortly gunfire. I mean,
Well, we had, the horse. We didn't have the horse in too long. It was very hot, and although it was trained in being used to filming, one did sort of worry about the. You see, we got the horse out of the studio now for the shooting. In fact,
so that's why the horse has wandered off.
when you saw it
because-
walk away from camera, it was going out of the studio.
There's Roy Herrick.
Yeah. And we used to have lots of recording pauses or small recording breaks when we moved the horse in, move it out, it was a very, very stressful. And I can remember Henrik having one shot where he wanted trees in the foreground, and he was spending ages on these trees. I said, Henrik, come on, we've got time, we've got to move. Maybe I caused him a bit of stress too,
I'm
because
sure
we were
you
up
didn't.
against a heavy schedule.
But Caroline, you direct, so do you empathise with poor old Henrik from all those years ago
Well,
now?
it must be an awful lot to hang on to, especially if you're talking in another language. Goodness knows how that works. And it seems to be everyone seems to have their first job from it. So, I mean, it wasn't the greatest, was it, for him? Was the Ronald Pickup was in?
Ronald Pickup
Yes.
is in the next episode, yes, and it's
Yes.
his first
It's his first.
telly as well.
Because, funnily enough, I met him again at the National Theatre where he was playing Robespierre or something like that in Danton's Death. And so he kept in the French
he
Revolution.
learned still from Doctor Who.
I miss them too.
And do you remember working with William Hartnell, Caroline?
Yes, I was terrified of him. Terrified.
Because of his reputation, or
Well, he was very
as a-
grumpy.
Ah,
That's what he seemed to be, very grumpy and a bit scarifying. But I was pretty scared of everyone. I was a bit of a wuss, really.
Oh, I hope you weren't scared of me.
No, I wasn't scared of you. But then you seemed very confident because, of course, you'd done so many episodes. And so,
Yeah.
you were very much at ease. So it was, but he was quite terrifying for someone like me. I don't know why.
and you later worked with John Pertwee in
Yes.
Frontier in Space.
Yes, I did. I think I got blown up in that one.
In colour.
Yeah.
And
Burn up in colour.
nothing good ever comes of it. Yes, larger than life. And John Barrard, playing the shopkeeper here, was going to be here today, but couldn't make it. We couldn't get him here, sadly. But he's in his 90s. But
Oh, my
He was in
goodness.
his Ed Carside.
was advertising in Spotlight till about 6 months ago. So
Fantastic.
still going. But it's a nice character part for him.
And in comparison, the price is
I always I had looked after a lovely actor called Richard Leach, who used to do a lot of work, and particularly on films and things. And he got very deaf, and really people knew that he was very deaf, and therefore he didn't get the castings when I sent him along. I became an agent, Caroline.
I heard you say that, yes.
Yeah. And he came up to the question of whether he should be in Spotlight again. He said, "I never get any work." And I said, "Well, you never know." He said, "Yeah, maybe I should, because if I don't put it in, they think I'm dead."
Richard Leach did it. He was Gatherer Haid in a Tom Baker story called The Sunmakers.
Oh, was he?
He did get some work out of
that's
Doctor
good.
Who,
Yeah.
in which he gives a very large performance.
yes, he
that's
is.
a lot of fun.
He's a lovely actor. He was a lovely actor.
providing you agree.
And what was so, Caroline? You just come out of drama school. Now, is it true at the time that drama school didn't necessarily prepare you for television?
No, not at all. I mean, all the things they do at drama school now, a lot of physical stuff and all that sort of thing. And all I really learned was how to do a Jacobean curtsy, which isn't terrifically useful, actually. But it might have been in this episode, strangely enough.
Here you are, opening the door for
Oh, yes.
Jacqueline and Carole. You're very poorly by this point.
Yes.
Proper poorly.
Here's Roy.
Ah,
and Roy Herrick.
Yes.
So were you quite chummy with Roy there?
Oh, yes, good friends. Good friends. We were very lucky. I went to Webber Douglas, and Webber Douglas had this idea of having a television course. And Julia Smith of EastEnders fame, she was a producer on EastEnders, and also she and Tony Holland devised the idea of EastEnders right from the start. She came down and did a course there, and it was through Julia, and I was stage managing for her, that I got into television.
Well, and Caroline, you've just lit the scene there with.
I have, haven't I? I don't think I do an awful lot, as far as I remember.
Well, you're in the next episode as well, where
Yes.
you're a bit suspicious of Edward Brayshaw.
Yes. Yes, I remember that.
And this is Donald Morley playing Jules. Oh, there you
There
are
you
again,
are.
Caroline.
Really cute.
This is my young friend Jean.
There's a Jacobean
Not quite your
curtsy.
curtsy.
Well, after you have eaten, you must rest.
So there you're proper wrangling fire there, Caroline.
I know, this is all live flames and everything.
Yep.
Good. It's quite a pretty set, really. That.
And it's interesting that he's favouring the business in the foreground of,
Yes.
of you and Roy and the exposition in the
It's
background.
nice.
That's an interesting way around of doing it.
Yeah. He had a very good visual eye, Henrik. You know,
How did Henrik appear? How did he do it? This.
well, he'd done a Joyce play, for the BBC, and was on a short-term contract with the BBC. And they said, "Oh, we've still got a few more months employing him, so we'll give him a Doctor Who." So he went down and saw Verity, and Verity said, "Yeah, all right, you do it."
Well, so he'd done television before. He just
He
hadn't
had.
done a Doctor Who before.
No,
Well,
no. And he'd been used to working in the plays department where you had a nice
More
long
time.
schedule to do things, plenty of rehearsals, not a 5-day turnaround. You know, it
Such
was
a-
really, really tough for him.
there's such a lot going on too. I mean, just in a set. I mean,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
It was pressure for all of us, actually.
It must have been.
Yeah. I seem to remember tripping or almost tripping over cables all the time in this.
I'm sure
You're
you
dashing
did.
from one set to the other, trying desperately to get there in time.
Well, so we're getting the impression then that Doctor Who was a show that could have been because all of the directors from that first season, Maurice Hussein, Christopher Barry, Richard Martin, young
John Gorry.
Turks, John Gorry. So was it? We'll get the youngsters in to cut their teeth. On
Yes,
this program.
it was. It was.
A more technically demanding program, say, than many others.
Definitely. It also found people out. If you were up to the mark, to do, this schedule and produce a show which is very watchable, then you'd get more work. But I think poor Henrik, when he did collapse in the studio during this episode, that word got around probably that he finds it stressful.
Which is not good news
Not
for
good
re-employment. Do you find it strange watching yourself, Caroline?
Very strange, because, of course, time's passed, hasn't it? Yes, it's funny. It's very strange. I'm sure I almost don't recognise myself, which is very odd. But it's lovely. It's very nice to know that, how you looked when you were once young. That's a very nice feeling, to be able to see that what you once were.
And it is there, captured forever.
Yeah.
And is it bringing back all sorts of, if not memories, but feelings of the time, what the atmosphere was like?
Yes,
working
and
at
I
the
mean, all
BBC?
that. How long did we rehearse? How much did we
Well,
rehearse?
4 days.
4 days.
You're right.
And then in the studio on the 5th day.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it seems like it is very well worked out. I mean, in regarding sort of everyone's moves, they're quite complicated, aren't they?
Because nowadays, of course, everything is cut together, so the editor almost orchestrates the movements, whereas you
Yes.
actors actually had to keep the picture interesting in a way because you didn't have so many cuts or
Well,
cameras.
exactly.
Right.
Exactly. I mean, it's quite flat, isn't it? It's almost like theatre, in a sense. You've got a sort of quite flat kind of scene rather than cutting over shoulders and doing,
Yes, those days it was very much like shooting a stage play in a set.
Yes.
We didn't have many cameras, did we?
No, you only
Two?
we had 4 cameras.
4?
Yeah.
Gosh.
It's quite difficult to manoeuvre, so they're not
Very
all shooting
difficult.
each other.
And also
Especially
in
here.
those days you used to go from one scene to the next. So you would have to work out where the cables were.
Yeah.
And the movements are allowed to release, camera 3 to go over to the next set and end up playing the scene. Try and keep it like a play, keep it going all
Yes.
the time.
As you say, if you could do this, you could do anything.
Yeah, you could.
virtually.
Could you retake? Or were they
Oh
retaking?
yes, a retake. Oh,
yes.
definitely.
I thought we weren't allowed retakes.
Oh no, you had retakes.
Actors weren't, special effects were, I think was the rule, was it? If an actor went wrong, that was
That's
fine.
when actors learnt to
but what
say
would often-
rude words, so that they had to have a retake if they didn't like
Yeah,
what they
that happened. What often would happen would play the scene out and then go back and pick up a shot that might have been missed or something.
Right.
Or play a little bit. But yes, as much as possible. Because
So you wouldn't
only
wait
had
till the end,
Only
you
had
would-
an hour and a half to do the recording.
Exactly, yeah,
Of course. Goodness.
That must have been quite stressful.
It was. It
Because
was very
Bill had
stressful.
quite a few fluffs,
Yeah, it
and they're
was.
still in. I mean, they.
Yeah.
And here we have the handsome, virile Edward Brayshaw.
My goodness, he
the
is too.
baddie.
Yeah.
Lots of swashbuckling cloak movements.
He's got a lot of presence.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Did you do any more Doctor Who's?
He did. He played a character called the War Chief in Patrick Troughton's last story, who had a big medallion and a massive handlebar moustache, and his own TARDIS. He was a baddie Time Lord.
Yeah.
Which was the first time we learnt
Right,
about them.
right.
So, and of course, best known now, sad is Mr. Meeker in Rent-A-Ghost, Edward Brayshaw. That
Yeah,
was
the
his
Brayshaw,
great,
yes.
great part. But he sort of captivates Jacqueline Hill in this.
Yes, you can see.
But I have to say, he's a favourite of mine. He's got a lot of presence about him, hasn't he? Do you remember working with him?
Yes, I do. Yes, I mean, he has got a lot of presence about him.
Very good posture.
Yeah. He's quite funny because I just remember sometimes he'd camp it up a bit.
Oh
Yes, I can see it.
absolutely.
And
I did wonder about him. Actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was a New Zealander.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, is he still alive?
No, he's no longer with
No.
us.
Oh,
No, he died at the age of 60.
Oh gosh.
That's very young.
Yeah.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
here's William Hartnell in a brilliant hat.
That's quite- That's a bit over the top, that hat, I'd say.
I think what's marvellous about this is that William Hartnell is playing it absolutely straight-faced, and that makes it funnier.
Yeah, yeah.
He's not a lesser actor would probably make a meal of the hat, whereas he's behaving as if there's absolutely
Yes.
nothing to worry about.
I go around wearing this all the time.
My man.
It's very nicely lit, isn't it? I just sort of
It is,
really
actually.
Yeah.
beautiful. Some
Yeah.
of it.
Did it make a difference who you had
Oh,
you know,
yes.
lighting a show?
Oh, yes, big difference.
Howard King did a lot of...
Yes,
Doctor
and when I was directing, I used Howard King several times. Very, very good. Very good.
Because these are names we see on credits, but we
Yeah.
never hear of or about the likes of Howard King. So he would be somebody at the BBC that would be assigned, or
Yes.
you would chase him if you
Yes,
could.
yes, yeah.
And so what was it about his lighting that was...
I think what about it was that he was prepared to give a little bit of light and shade.
Yes.
So it did not,
Absolutely.
not
It was quite soft,
beam it
wasn't
down on you, you know.
And it's sort of cross-lighting,
yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's
side-
cross-lighting,
Yes.
and also he will give, in the corners he'll give shade,
That's
in,
lovely,
in the
that
dark
shot.
corners, and not all everything lit up, which is
I was told off the record by somebody, but I think it was off the record, and the person didn't want me to identify them, but they said that they dubbed Howard the Prince of Darkness because of his approach to lighting, which is... So we have the Prince of Darkness lighting, the Reign of Terror, but that gives the
Well,
shade.
because I
that
think
you
it's
say,
so right
which
for
is-
it.
Well, it
You
gives
know.
it a three-dimensional thing,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
But also actors really hate any shade, don't they? They tend to like to be very, very brightly lit.
But of course, it's the shadow that gives atmosphere.
Definition.
And there you
yes.
are, you're
Yeah.
down in the dungeon, so to speak, and you want that dark feeling about it all.
And let's not acknowledge, of course, you're lighting for 3 shots as well if you've got
Yes.
3 cameras on it, which
Yeah.
is not easy, is it?
No.
Because you've got to take
No.
into account
No.
without floodlighting.
Yeah,
So we take our hats off to Howard King.
and also just watching that shot, how Henrik made it develop. Nowadays, you'd probably have suddenly the camera would cut away
Yeah,
from the
it's-
2 shot over to a single, and before just the way that it was done. You could see the man, Henrik, had a
choreographed.
Yes,
theatre
absolutely.
experience, that he kept it within one frame. You didn't need to cut away. You need just
Yeah.
contain it in one shot.
But he
Okay.
pulled back, didn't he? He pulled the camera
Yeah,
back. And
yeah.
Then, yeah.
Well, and Cairncross has just crossed over, so he
Yeah,
and
Jimmy came in the
Yeah.
background, and it just sort of developed from there.
Quite difficult moves, actually, when you're kind of aware of having to stand on a mark somewhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they're very precise, aren't they? I mean, that guy's
Yes.
got to get to the edge of the frame somewhere.
Yeah.
Mind you, there wasn't very far to go in that studio. It was so confined.
But you wouldn't know it's a long, narrow studio, would you?
No.
Not from these shots, no.
And the street shots gives it a real length.
Yes, yes.
Astonishing, actually.
Well, and the sets are good.
Yes.
There's a definite sense of place,
Yeah.
which seeing that there are the disparate narratives
Yeah.
going on,
Yeah.
you really need that from the designer. Roderick Lang was quite a veteran designer,
Yes,
I
he
think.
was.
Oh, the miniature sets were fantastic. Do you
Yeah.
remember for
Yes.
this?
Yeah.
Oh, they were absolutely marvellous. I really fell in love with them.
What do you mean,
And
like
they-
a model box? They
Yes,
do- Ah.
yes. And I so fell in love with them. They gave me one afterwards. And I had it for many, many years. And I kept it for security on top of the wardrobe in my bedroom. Then we had a new cleaning lady, and she had a long feather duster. And she just went phew, along the top of the wardrobe, and it just went crash, shattered into bits.
Oh,
Oh, I was so upset. So upset.
that's an eBay sale. You've been denied if you'd hung on to that.
I would never have said.
You'd have hung on to that for
Loved
dear. Yeah. So is it gone? That gone completely?
Gone
or-
completely.
Oh.
It had little doors that opened and closed,
Oh,
and little
my
windows
goodness.
that opened. It was just beautiful.
So each set had a model box, did it? Oh, that's-
I don't think each set, but you know.
It was your point of view of Paris, wasn't it, or
Yes,
something
it
like
was.
that?
It was the street scene.
Yeah.
I want to give him
Oh, and this is going to spell trouble for William Hartnell because John Barrard's identified him as the bad guy, which means that Tim and Carole are going to take a break and we say goodbye to Caroline. So, Caroline, how's it been revisiting your first television job?
That was wonderful, too. Very nice. Thank you for having me here.
A great pleasure. And you're directing, so what made you jump from acting to, well, you sort of mix and match?
No, I think it became very difficult to go on acting and playing the parts I'd like to play, and it became more like playing parts I have to play in order to survive at all. And then I went over into the script department of the RSC and worked there and read a lot of scripts. And that was when I was having my child. and I couldn't work. And that kept me going. And then I sort of shifted over into directing after that. It was a natural shift, and I've never regretted it. It's been terrific.
Well, I hope you don't regret joining us today.
I
Thanks very
don't.
much. Great, thank you.